A lot of people are as dumb as a pile of rocks. Why? Because they complain about their job like it's a prison. But the truth is much worse. They're sitting inside a money printing machine and treating it like a bus stop. Let me prove it with one sentence. Every single month, your employer deposits thousands of pounds into your bank account, and you act like that's normal, like some Tesco cash machine that spits out money because you showed up on Monday. Listen carefully. Your job isn't an ATM. Your job is an investor, a venture capital firm, and you are the startup they're funding. But instead of treating that funding like capital, most people treat it like pub money. Gym memberships they never use, finance payments on a BMW 3 Series just to look successful outside Nando's. It's embarrassing. Because while you're whining about your salary, your employer is literally handing you the seed money that could make you wealthy, and you're wasting it like a child who just discovered contactless payments. Here's the truth nobody told you. Your employer isn't just paying you wages. They're acting like a private equity firm investing in you, and the investment terms they're offering would make half the startups in Shoreditch cry with jealousy. But unlike founders who read the contract, you signed your employment paperwork while thinking about what Pret sandwich you were getting for lunch. So today, we're fixing that. Because once you understand how your job actually works, you'll realize something brutal. You're not broke because you don't earn enough. You're broke because you've been ignoring the biggest investor in your life. And frankly, that's just stupid. Let's start with the most ridiculous example of free money you're probably ignoring, your workplace pension match. Most companies in the UK offer something like this. For every £1 you put into your pension, they'll add another £1 up to around 5 or 6% of your salary. Think about what that actually means. You put in £1 and they give you £1. That's a 100% return instantly. Find me a hedge fund manager in Canary Wharf who can guarantee you that. You can't. Because if someone promised a 100% return, the FCA would shut them down for fraud before lunchtime. Yet millions of employees don't contribute enough to get the full pension match. They're literally refusing free money. That's like walking past a table stacked with £50 notes and saying, "Nah, mate, I'm all right." Why do people do this? Because they think they can't afford to invest right now. But let's be honest. The same people who say they can't afford 5% for their pension are happily financing a £35,000 Audi, spending £15 on Deliveroo and dropping £120 on a night out in Shoreditch. So it's not a money problem, it's a thinking problem. Because when you ignore that pension match, you're not just skipping a benefit. You're rejecting a capital injection from the biggest investor in your life. Imagine launching a startup and an investor walks up to you and says, "For every £1 you invest into your company, I'll match it. No equity, no ownership, just free capital." You'd sign that deal so fast, the pen would catch fire. But when your employer offers the exact same deal through your pension scheme, you ignore it because the HR portal looked boring. That's not bad luck, that's self-sabotage. And the pension match is just the beginning, because if you actually open the benefits portal at your job, you'll realize something slightly embarrassing. Your employer is throwing money at you and you're too lazy to pick it up. Let's talk about the next one most people ignore: professional development funding. A lot of companies in the UK will pay thousands of pounds every year for you to learn new skills, take courses, get certifications, or even complete part of a degree. And yet most employees never touch it. Why? Because it requires filling out a form. You'll happily spend 2 hours scrolling TikTok before bed, but 30 minutes applying for £3,000 worth of free education feels like too much effort. Let's translate this into business language so it actually makes sense. Your employer is basically saying, "We're willing to invest money into making you more valuable." And your response is, No thanks, I'd rather stay average. Imagine launching a startup and a grant program offers you £5,000 a year to improve your business. No repayment, no equity, just funding. Every founder on the planet would sprint to that application, but employees ignore it because the email came from HR and looked boring. Now run the numbers. If your company offers £4,000 per year in training support and you ignore it for 5 years, you've just left £20,000 worth of skill development on the table. That's not a rounding error. That's a house deposit you never built because you couldn't be bothered to open the benefits page. And here's the part people miss. Those skills don't belong to your employer. They belong to you. You can take them to another company, use them to negotiate a pay rise, or turn them into a side business. So your employer isn't just paying your salary, they're funding the upgrade of you as an asset. And you're ignoring it like a spam email. Now zoom out for a second because the benefits are just the surface layer. The real shift happens when you understand what your salary actually is. Your paycheck is not the goal. Your paycheck is seed funding for you incorporated. Every successful business starts with capital. Property investors need deposits, traders need account balance, businesses need runway. So where does that capital come from for most people? Their salary. Your job isn't the investment. Your job is the investor. That money landing in your account on Friday is the same money that could be buying index funds on Monday, funding a property deposit next year, or launching a business 5 years from now. But most people never make that connection. They see their salary as spending money instead of investment capital. So they do what the average person does. They upgrade the car, upgrade the flat, upgrade the lifestyle. And suddenly, the investor funding their future has turned into a lifestyle sponsor. It's like raising venture capital and spending the entire investment on office furniture and expensive lunches instead of building the business. No wonder people stay broke for decades. They're running a company that refuses investment capital. Think about how ridiculous that is. You've got a consistent capital partner sending money into your account every month, and you're treating it like weekend spending money. That's not bad luck, that's bad strategy. Because the people who actually build wealth do the opposite. They use their job like a funding machine, extract every benefit, take every match, claim every reimbursement, and deploy that capital into assets. Property, index funds, businesses, skills. Your salary funds the machine and the assets build the wealth. But if all you ever do is spend it, congratulations. You've turned your biggest investor into your personal allowance. Here's the real problem. Most people treat their employer like an ATM. They show up, tap the card, collect the salary, and go home. No strategy, no extraction, no understanding of the actual deal they're sitting inside. But your employer isn't an ATM. Your employer is a venture capital firm, and you are the startup they're investing in. Think about how venture capital actually works. Investors fund companies because they expect those companies to grow, generate value, and become more profitable over time. That's exactly what your employer is doing with you. They're paying your salary because they believe you'll produce more value than you cost. But instead of treating that funding like capital, most employees behave like a startup founder who spent the entire investment on takeaway food and designer trainers. They extract the base salary and ignore the rest of the deal. They don't maximize the pension match. They ignore education benefits. They skip development programs, and they never leverage the company network. It's like signing a venture capital agreement and then refusing 80% of the funding. Let me show you how ridiculous this gets when you actually run the numbers. The average employer spends roughly 25 to 30% of your salary on benefits. That means if you earn £60,000, there's another £15,000 to £18,000 of value attached to that job. Most people only capture half of it, sometimes even less. So they think they're earning £60,000 a year, when the real compensation package could be worth £75,000 or more. They're literally leaving thousands of pounds on the table every year because they never bothered to understand the system. Imagine running a business where investors offered you funding and you just said, "Yeah, I'll take a bit of it." That company would collapse. But that's exactly how most people run their financial lives. Half funded, half optimized, half aware. And then they complain they're not getting ahead. Now let's talk about something most employees never even think about: the hidden portfolio inside your job. Because the real value of your job isn't just the salary, it's the resources your employer gives you access to every single day. Software, training, professional networks, industry knowledge. All of it is infrastructure, and if you had to pay for it yourself, it would cost thousands of pounds a year. Think about it. Most decent companies give employees access to tools that would be extremely expensive for an individual to buy. Project management platforms, analytics software, design tools, research databases. Each of those tools could easily cost hundreds or even thousands per year on their own, but you get access to them because your employer already pays for the licenses. So the smart employee does something very simple. They master those tools, not just to be better at their job, but to increase their market value everywhere else. Because once you learn a valuable tool, you don't lose that knowledge when you leave the company. You take the skill with you. Your employer paid for the software, but you keep the expertise. And the same logic applies to professional networks. Your company probably sends people to industry conferences, training events, and workshops. Most employees treat those trips like boring work obligations. But the smart ones treat them like networking opportunities funded by someone else's budget. Every person you meet at those events could eventually become a future employer, a business partner, a client, or even an investor. You're literally building career capital while the company pays for the travel and the hotel. That's not just a work trip, that's a grant-funded networking opportunity. But again, most employees waste it. They show up, eat the free food, sit through the talks, and disappear back to the hotel. Meanwhile, someone else in the same room is building relationships that could be worth hundreds of thousands of pounds over their career. Same conference, same opportunity, completely different outcomes. Because one person is thinking like an employee and the other is thinking like an investor in their own future. Now we get to the part that's almost too good, because most salaried jobs come with something nobody talks about: inefficiency. Meetings that should have been emails, processes that move slower than the district line at rush hour, projects waiting on approvals, dead time between tasks. And what does the average employee do with that time? They scroll Instagram, watch YouTube, or refresh the news, which is the professional equivalent of sitting inside an investment fund and doing absolutely nothing with the capital. The smart employee does something very different. They use that time to build. They research investments, study markets, take online courses, develop ideas, and plan their next move. Not because they're trying to be some hustle culture guru, but because they understand something simple. They're being paid while upgrading themselves. If you can complete your job responsibilities in 35 hours, but you're paid for 40, those extra hours are financial arbitrage. It's like being given several hours of investor-funded development time every week. Now, before someone starts crying about time theft, let's be clear. You still do your job. You still deliver results. You still meet expectations. But if the system leaves idle time on the table, you use it. Because the person who spends those hours learning skills, researching opportunities, or planning investments will look completely different in 5 years. Same job, same salary, same office. But one person is still waiting for their next promotion while the other is quietly building financial independence. That difference doesn't come from working harder. It comes from understanding something most employees never realize. Your job isn't just paying you money, it's paying you time. And if you're smart, you invest that too. But the real power of your job isn't just the money, it's what that job unlocks. 3 things most people completely underestimate: credibility, stability, and optionality. First, credibility. When you're employed, especially at a recognizable company, the financial system treats you very differently. Banks approve mortgages. Landlords accept applications. Credit providers raise your limits. Doors open that stay closed for people without stable employment. Why? Because employment is a signal. It tells the system that your income is predictable and that you're a lower risk borrower. That signal unlocks opportunities that someone with the same cash but no income history would struggle to access. Then there's stability. Predictable income creates runway. When your salary covers your living expenses, you can invest aggressively, take calculated risks, and build assets that take years to grow. Property, crypto, businesses. You're not relying on those assets to survive tomorrow because your salary is acting as the safety net underneath the entire system. And then there's the most underrated advantage of all: optionality. Every year you stay employed while consistently investing, you're quietly buying yourself choices. The choice to change careers, the choice to move cities, the choice to take time off, the choice to walk away from a toxic workplace. Most people think freedom means escaping the job, but that's backwards. Freedom comes from using the job to build enough assets that the job becomes optional. That's the real strategy. Not quitting tomorrow. Not pretending you're financially independent because you made a few lucky trades. The real strategy is much simpler. You stay in the system, you extract everything you can from it, and you build quietly in the background. Until one day, the job stops being a necessity and becomes a choice. Now let's talk about what this actually looks like when someone executes the strategy instead of just nodding along to a finance video. Year 1. You're earning around £65,000. You start by maxing out the pension match, contributing to the tax-advantaged accounts, and using the training budget to gain a certification that increases your market value. You're not spending the salary first and saving whatever is left. You're doing the opposite. You invest first and live on the remainder. That first year might only leave you with £4,000 or £5,000 of additional savings after everything else, which doesn't feel impressive. But the real move is happening behind the scenes. Between pension contributions, employer match, and skill development, you may have deployed £15,000 into assets and personal growth. You're not just saving money, you're building infrastructure. Fast forward 3 years. You've used those new skills to earn a promotion or switch companies for a higher salary. Now you're making £80,000. Most people would upgrade their lifestyle at this stage. New flat, new car, new expenses. But you keep your lifestyle roughly the same. Maybe you buy a better mattress or upgrade a few essentials, but you avoid the lifestyle explosion. That discipline creates a gap between what you earn and what you spend. And that gap is where wealth is built. Now you're investing £12,000 a year into a brokerage account while still maxing your pension contributions. You're not rich yet, but you're liquid. And liquidity is the raw material of opportunity. Then comes year 5. A small property appears on the market slightly undervalued because it needs cosmetic work. You've built up enough savings for a deposit, your employment history makes you mortgage worthy, and you buy the property. The rent covers most of the mortgage, maybe even generates a small amount of positive cash flow. Your job didn't buy that property. Your job made buying that property possible. That's the difference between people who treat their salary like spending money and people who treat their salary like investment capital. Fast forward a few more years and something interesting happens. Your investments start growing faster than the money you're putting in. That's when compounding finally shows up to do the heavy lifting. Your pension has been growing quietly for years. Your investment accounts are building momentum. Your assets are starting to generate income on their own. At that stage, your job stops being the engine of your wealth and becomes something else entirely. It becomes leverage. Your salary still exists, but now it's just another layer of stability sitting underneath your investments. This is where the psychology flips. Most people feel trapped by their job, but someone who has built assets feels supported by it. If your boss becomes unreasonable, you can walk away. If a better opportunity appears somewhere else, you can take it. If you want to change direction entirely, you have the financial runway to do it. Because the job is no longer controlling your life. The job is simply funding the system you built. And that's the entire point of this strategy. Most people want freedom immediately. They want to quit their job tomorrow and somehow be financially independent without building the foundation first. But that's not freedom. That's unemployment with better marketing. Real freedom comes from using the job strategically. Extract every benefit. Capture every match. Build every asset you can while the system is funding you. Then one day, the math changes. Your investments are covering your expenses, your options expand, and the job becomes optional instead of necessary. At that point, your employer still thinks they're paying you for your time. But the reality is much more interesting. You've been using their capital the entire time to build your independence. The real mistake isn't that jobs underpay people. The real mistake is that most people never realize their job is the best investor they'll ever have. So instead of extracting everything they can from that partnership, they walk away chasing freedom they never funded. Don't be that person. Extract the capital, build quietly, and leave when the numbers say you can, not when your feelings tell you to.